This is the Get Better Everyday podcast with Matt Gouget. Actionable advice from real life superheroes who, just like you, are in relentless pursuit of the best version of themselves. Whether you're just getting started or have been at it for years, my hope is that this podcast injects you with some positive energy to continue doing what brings you joy. Join me as I interview the best of the best in business, sports, and life. Let's grow together. All right. Get better every day with Matt Gouget. I got my good friend Dorian Medina on today. If you're listening to this, I hope that this resonates with you. I hope that Get Better Every Day in general resonates with you. If you found value, please subscribe to the podcast. Consider leaving us a review if you had any impact on you. Dorian, I'm super stoked to have you on. Give us in however long you want, just an introduction to who is Dorian Medina.
Sure. Thank you so much, Matt, for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm super grateful. Anytime I could share my story, anytime I could share some inspiration or some words of wisdom or just some things that I've lived in my, short life, young adulthood life. I'm just super grateful to be on. Dorian, hard worker, great, amazing work ethic. But I think most of all, as I've evolved in me and as a person, I just really come off as someone that's really kind, really genuine, really authentic. Someone that really pours into other people, someone that really wants to see, my friends, people that are in my life. I just really want to see them, succeed and do really well. So if you were to ever, ask anyone about me, I think they would say something really similar to what I said. And I would just really appreciate. I have a growth mindset. I'm kind, I'm positive, and I just really want to see other people grow and succeed. And yeah, man, I'm just, this life is short, so I'm just excited to keep growing. And I'm a huge Kings fan. I love CrossFit. I love hanging out with my dog, my girlfriend, and just love being around people, man. I really enjoy genuine connection. I really enjoy getting to know more and more people. Every time I go out in Sacramento and to all of my favorite places, I just really would love to meet more people. It's just life is short, and there's so much stuff that we can accomplish all together. Networking is really important. So yeah, man, that's Dorian.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And definitely, I was drawn to you back when we were working out together, and you were, my CrossFit coach for some time.
Oh yeah.
Because of that positive outlook, because of that work ethic, because of just like certain people give off a certain energy,
100%.
right? And you've got an energy of, wanting to make a positive impact on anybody you come across.
Totally. 100%.
And the Get Better Everyday podcast is about, finding people wherever they are. And I think that as I think more about what I want this podcast to be, whether somebody is just starting on their journey and they've been walking the wrong way, and and some light bulb goes off and they go, you know what? Like, I can do better. I can be better. And they start walking the other direction. Or there's some people that have been walking the right direction for 10 years, but they either want to walk faster, they want to run harder, they want to get around, high achieve, whatever the case may be. Like, I think there's a lot of different people that I can see getting impact from it. What I'd love to dig out of you, if you don't mind, is part of your story, because I know that I come across people, whether it's in my business or my personal life or at the gym, that life isn't always sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't get handed great things naturally, right? You don't graduate high school and then, buckets of money are dumped on you. So if you could, I know that I've heard parts of your story, whether it's sleeping in a stairwell at Sac State or that, but, tell us a little bit about, maybe some of the stuff you've overcome that might help inspire others.
Sure. 100%, man. Doing this CrossFit thing and doing this fitness thing, when I was in college, being a student athlete, and I wanted to go and go get my master's and be a strength conditioning coach. I just loved being in the weight room, and I loved being around other people that just like had these great fitness goals, that had that team camaraderie. And then I just kind of found myself in a very depressive, very anxious, very kind of like, man, I'm just one person in this whole big world. What is my purpose here? And I found myself just being super like anxious, and I wanted to get to the next level so fast. And I think those are some things I just, I wasn't being super thoughtful at the time. And I was just like, I was sleeping in my garage at the time of my senior year of college. And then after that, I went to go hang out with my cousin. My lease was up, and I slept on his floor. And then I was just trying to make CrossFit and fitness a career. And at the time, the businesses and the models weren't really set up for coaches to have full-time jobs, or for people like me to actually really make this a career. And I found myself, just really grinding, working out 3 times a week. I was blessed enough to compete at a high level in CrossFit too. And man, it's just like, at that time, CrossFit fitness coaching was my life. And I had to sleep in my car. I had to sleep at gyms to coach for free. I was working at all these different multiple locations, multiple businesses for these multiple business owners, because I just really wanted to get my name out there and I wanted to put in the time. I was so hyper focused on this one goal, and being hyper focused and having gone through what I had to go through led me to where I'm at today. And it was a lot of sacrifice. It was a lot of sleepless nights. There was, times where I had to sleep at Sacramento State because I was a former employee and I just knew different areas where I wouldn't get caught. But it was also that same like that kind of shame and fear that I was going to see somebody that I knew and they were just going to ask me questions about, hey, what are you doing here? Like, it was just really awkward. But at the time, it was just things that I needed to do at the time. And I'm so grateful that I was able to experience that. I'm so grateful that I was able to experience all this adversity, because it really taught me how to live a simple, basic, frugal life that now really is a big proponent on how I live my financial life, on how I spend my money, on the people that I spend my time with, on the things that I watch and the things that I listen to. Going through that was really traumatizing at the time, but now it just has taught me so much about life, how much someone can accomplish, how far someone can go in regards to having so much adversity faced, their way. And I'm just really grateful for the experience. It was really hard, but I'm glad to be, and I'm blessed to be in the position that I am now. I got some money saved up. I'm hopefully going to buy some real estate next year. I live a very basic, minimal life. And I just, going through those things, man, has really positioned me to hopefully build a successful life, and one that I can share and tell a great story about, if I ever have kids one day, if I get invited to these podcasts. I just spoke at an Avid class last Friday for some students, not as like deep as this, but getting invited to these types of things. I get to speak at Sac State all the time. So like, networking and getting to tell my story. And I'm just one person out of so many millions of other adversities in some different shape. But I'm just grateful that I'm able to come on, your podcast, Matt, and be able to share some things that I've experienced in my life that have now positioned me to be successful and really just live a happy, positive life, man.
I love it, man. I'm gonna pull a couple things out of there for listeners. One being, like, you had laser focus.
100%.
No matter where you had to sleep, no matter what you had to do, like,
Exactly.
you had a dream and a passion,
Of
and you were
course.
focused. And I watch a lot of things on, what separates average person from somebody who goes out and is successful. A lot
Yes.
of it is focus.
Totally.
People that are focused and they understand what they want and what their passion is are
Sure.
going to continue doing it no matter the obstacle. The other thing that I got to pull out, because I just recently saw this and it really resonated with me, was I saw a question posed about, when you find success,
Yes.
does your mindset change? And what the point of the whole question was your mindset, your hustle, everything you're doing
Yeah.
in order to create success, you're conditioning yourself.
Of
You
course.
don't become successful, become a millionaire, people don't become things and then all of a sudden turn a light on.
100%.
Like, all the hard work, the journey
Yes.
is what creates the person. So Dorian Medina, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever successes you're seeing is a result of all the work that you've put in
Of
for the
course.
last decade or 2 decades. So with all that in mind, I'd love to hear about, some of the stuff you got going on, because I know, during COVID, you launched, really cool concept that I
Yes.
thought was novel and whatnot. Tell us a little bit about that and what else you have going on.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. When I finally got, hired and finally had a full-time career in CrossFit, I was working for ASAP Fitness at the time here in Sacramento, and I quickly moved up. I quickly became the operations manager at the gym. I was finally running a CrossFit gym, and at the time I was still competing in CrossFit, and now I was really immersed in this business side of it, and I really, really that's when I really kind of started to like understand and really kind of started to like really take an interest in entrepreneurship and like, man, what is it like to own someone's what is it like to own a business? Because I felt like the business owner. I was working 7 days a week. I was doing all the sales. I was doing so much personal training. I was growing the gym. I was coaching most of the classes. I was cleaning the facility. I mean, those are all ownership things. You know, those are people. Those are all things that owners do. And you know, as my time progressed, as I got really good and I learned really so much about fitness, I had to ask myself, hey, Dorian, can you sustain this for you know, can you work 7 days a week for the rest of your life? Is that something you want to do? And I quickly, you know, positioned myself and like, hey, you know, maybe as the world is quiet, maybe this is the time where maybe it's time for you to go do your own thing. So I gave myself a month. My favorite color is black. I bought myself a trailer. I called it Black Box. I was really fascinated by going to someone's house and providing them a fitness experience, bringing my equipment, bringing my trailer, and I just tried it. And shoot, you know, I did 88,000 my first year, so like in gross revenue. So like that's the most amount of money I've ever made in my life. So it was really cool. It was really rewarding. But not only that, it really gave me affirmation that, hey, dude, like you have talent. Like you can take this as far as you want to go. This can be just a lifestyle for you. You know, you've built this concept from zero to, you know, Black Box now. So like you can really do it. And I encourage anyone out there, you know, like I know it's a big risk. It's easy to just, you know, be comfortable. But if you're really passionate about something, you really believe in yourself, you think that you could solve someone's problem, I really encourage anyone out there that's listening to really go out and try it, because you're only going to be young once. As you get older, you might have more responsibilities. Your family might grow. You might have more investments. You might buy more real estate. There's so many different things out there that's going to occupy more of your time. So when you're young and you have, you know, time, I think that's a perfect opportunity for you to take advantage of starting your own business, or working on a project that you're really passionate about, and a project that you think that you could do really well at. So Black Box is still thriving. I'm coming up on my second year next month, so we'll see how far I take it, man. But I'm really excited to keep growing. I'm really excited to. I've just been really so immersed in entrepreneurship now that I'm really interested in other businesses, like owning a car wash, owning laundromats. I really want to get into real estate too. So like vending machines are really interesting too. Like there's just so much opportunity, man. And I'm just really excited to grow and learn and keep doing it, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. You know, opportunity is there for those that are willing to take a chance, and that's what you said, and that's why I like for people to really hear from that is you took a chance on yourself and you said, I'm going to give this a try, and then you got the social proof to, oh my gosh, in my first year, you know, I had some gross receipts. I'm doing something right. I'm good at this, right? And like when you say that, it resonates with me a ton, because I think that like more than people will admit, we're all afraid of failure. We're all afraid that we're not good enough, or we're not smart enough, or whatever the case may be. And then the only way to find out if you're capable of something is trying, 100%. Right? I talk to people every day, whether it's, you know, in business, real estate investing, in fitness. Like if you don't try, you'll never know if you were good enough. You'll 100%. Never know if you could have succeeded. And another thing that I think that shines through on all interviews I do with anybody who's seen any level of success is it might not be your first attempt. You know, you might not hit a home run on your first attempt. You might have to swing a few times. So I'd love to hear from you, maybe on a story, because this one was a good one, right? I gave Black Box Fitness a try and I went after it. Is there a failure you can think of that came your way where others might have been like, okay, maybe I'm not cut out for this, and given up, where you kept going?
100%. You know what? Fitness has been the only kind of entrepreneurship thing that I can really think of in my life where I've started something on my own. But there have been a lot of personal, I guess, personal failures for me, being so hyper motivated and so hyper focused on my goal. And I've written about this all the time. It's like during that period where, you know, I was working 7 days a week, where I was growing the gym, where I was just really immersed in this brand and really immersed in like, man, Dorian, you finally did it. You finally got the position that you wanted. This everything you've ever prayed for. This is the reward that you get for being homeless. Like this is it, right? But at the same time, man, like I sacrificed a lot of time with people that cared about me, people that were inviting me, you know, to hang out with them. family that wanted to see me, just like a lot of selfish uh goals of mine were far outweighed, going to family gatherings or hanging out with my friends or spending time with people that really cared about me. I think that's one thing in my life that I'm not proud of, but it's something that I needed to do in order for me to get to the next level. So personal failures like that are things that I think about all the time. I'm a very much a reflective person. I'm very nostalgic too, because I drive around and I still live around the area where, going to Sacramento State, where I really grew up and became a man, um, I get a lot of flashbacks about times in my life where I've had to go through adversity or times that I could have done a lot better. And I think, times like that, where even though I was seeing a lot of success, are also times where I just always think about like, man, Dorian, what if you would have taken that day off, or what if you would have taken that trip, and built more memories with these people that were really trying to get some time from you. So I think that not so much of a business failure, but more of a personal failure for me is something that really kind of hits my heart and something that I wish. And now that I'm more thoughtful of when I get super immersed in my grind in my hustle, like, hey, I need to give this person time and I need to make sure that I give them time so that way, because life is short, you don't know what's going to happen. So I don't want to live with that regret. I would hate to see somebody, someone's health goes wrong, or something happens in their life where I'm not able to see them again. So that's a big personal failure in my life that I think that I've had to learn, but I'm getting a lot better at.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I can relate to that. People that are really focused on success,
Yeah.
and there's 1,000 different things out there on balance, right? And,
Oh
and like,
man,
how do you balance, work and family
for
and
sure.
relationships and even health too? That I know a lot of successful business folks that just like let their health go to crap because they're so focused on the business side of it.
100%.
For sure, you're not alone. For any
Totally.
listeners who feel like, oh man, I should have gone to every single one of my kids' t-ball games, being aware of it is the most important part.
I
I
think
think
so
that,
too.
like, I've put a spotlight on it as a father and as a husband to say that 10 years from now, 20 years from now, my mortgage business, other ventures that I'm involved in, if those are 85% of what they could have been, but I'm a great husband, if they're 75% of what they could have been, but I coached basketball and I was at every kid's event,
Yeah,
I consider that a win. It's different for everybody.
100%.
And so everybody's got their own journey. But I would love to hear too, maybe if you have advice for listeners on things that you've put in place to
Yeah.
maybe say, you know what, I'm aware of this now. And I'm going to make an effort to, prioritize relationships because I know that I can
Totally.
get hyper focused on the success side. So,
Totally.
so what are you doing for that?
Yeah, man. One thing I do a lot of is whenever I go for my long walks, I'll FaceTime people that I haven't seen. I just go through my contact list or I'll go through my text message list because I save everything. So I'll go through my text message list and I'll just like scroll down and who haven't I talked to in 6 months or more, or who did I just see on social media that just posted some really cool photos? Like I'll do that. Like when I'm driving to appointments, I'll audio call people and see how they're doing, even if it's like 5 minutes, man. Like that's something that I've been really, really cognizant on. If I'm just chilling outside after I finish working out, I'm just chilling before dinner, I'll FaceTime like some family members, my godsons, like people that have been in my life. It was really cool because I just got to FaceTime Mr. Patterson, who was my teacher in sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, but he taught my Avid class. And I just spoke an Avid class for a good friend of mine and my neighbor, and I was really excited to give him a call. 16 years later, he picked up right away and was like, dude, so nice to see you. And I just poured into him. I was like, thank you so much for being in my life, for being an amazing mentor, for being a great teacher, and for being someone that I really looked up to. And he really appreciated that. And I try and do that all the time with people that have been in my life, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today without other people, without other mentors, without people that have been in my life that have helped me get to where I'm at. Sure, I've had the work ethic, sure, I've had the hyper focus, but without shaking hands, without being kind to other people, without being relationship oriented, I'm not sure where I'd be at today. So those are just some simple things that I like to do on my off time to really help build more meaningful connections and making sure that I'm still a part of these people's lives and people that I haven't spoken to in a long time.
I love it, man. I love it. And I could just, feel the sincerity and the genuineness in you, what
100%.
what drew me to you. And
Yeah.
so I'm sure that, as much as this fills you up to stay in connection with a lot of these people on the receiving end of these, you know, voice memos or FaceTimes or calls, are feeling it. Because at the end of the day, you know, no matter what your goals are, no matter what you're trying to get better in every single day, this human experience does involve other humans, right? And I think a lot of times, what's the quote that, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You know, in many areas of my life, in fitness, if it wasn't for you and other coaches, I wouldn't be as far as I am in fitness. In business, if it wasn't for a lot of the mentors and a lot of the great colleagues that I've been able to surround myself with, I wouldn't be as far. You know, in personal relationships, if it wasn't for my wife, right? And like, just her natural ability to be empathetic and pour into people, I wouldn't be as far. So thank you so much for joining me, man. Like, where can people find you? Where can people check out what you got going on? I, for one, dude, am a huge fan and can't wait to see all the amazing things you do in the decades to come.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. You know, when we met each other at the gym, at UF, you know, shout out to your guys' gym and Iron Mile at the time. You just being in the gym business, being in the fitness business, you get to meet so many people, man. And I encourage you, get out there, go to networking events, meet new people at these gyms, because there's a lot of successful people out there that are just walk amongst you that you wouldn't even know. They're so high in their business, or they have multiple businesses, or they're just a big influence. So I encourage people, man, go meet people, man. Go talk to people, because these people are going to help you get to the next level. And I'm, you know, just like you, man. Thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast. It's amazing. I had you on my podcast last year, which is really, really cool. But you can find me at Black Box Mobile Fitness, BLK Box Mobile Fitness. You can hit me up on Facebook at Dorian Ivan Medina. I got a YouTube channel, LinkedIn. I also have a podcast. I haven't done an episode in a little while, but I also interview other Sacramento area entrepreneurs. I'm really easy, accessible, really personable. If you ever see me driving on the freeway, I get a lot of honks all the time. It's really, really cool. Sometimes I don't even know who it is. I just wish you could just call me after. So
put your phone number across your back window.
I know. It's so funny. It's like, I'll be driving down the freeway and I get like honks, or I'm like, "What's up, Dorian?" And I don't know who they are. It's like, man, please text me. Let me know that you saw me. That'd be really amazing. So
somewhere along the way, you impacted somebody's life, which, you know, is going to leave more an effect on this world than anything else. So I'll make sure to leave all those, you know, links in the description. Thanks again, Dorian. It's great catching up with you, brother.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you. Hang out. I would love to hang out with you again. And much blessings to you and your family, and to everyone that's in your life, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.